So let's be curious for a sec. Have you thought of standing in a city so breathtaking that poets have run out of words to describe it? Picture yourself surrounded by architectural masterpieces that span centuries, natural wonders that honestly defy belief, and a culture so rich it connects ancient nomadic warriors to modern European sophistication. This isn't a fantasy, it's a real place, and well, it's been hiding in plain sight in the heart of Europe. What you're about to discover will completely transform how you see this nation. Whether you're considering visiting, studying, working, or even settling here permanently, what comes next will give you insider knowledge most people never learn. Don't skip ahead, because understanding this place means understanding how history, culture, and modernity collide in the most unexpected ways. Let's begin with what draws millions here in the first place: sheer magnificence. Budapest stands among Earth's most stunning capitals, and that's just the beginning. Across this nation, UNESCO World Heritage sites appear so frequently you might lose count. Natural wonders captivate visitors. Lake Balaton reigns as Central Europe's largest lake, while Hortobégi stretches as the continent's most expansive grassland. Covering roughly 90,000 square kilometers, this landlocked nation sits at Europe's crossroads, bordered by Slovakia northward, Romania eastward, Serbia southward, and Slovenia westward. If architecture makes your heart race, this destination belongs at the top of your list. Classical masterpieces stand alongside fascinating museums, creating visual experiences that leave visitors speechless. The buildings alone justify the journey. They're not just structures, they're stories told in stone, metal, and glass. As a European Union member, entry proves straightforward for those holding Schengen visas. Direct flights connect major cities, making access convenient. But prepare yourself for weather extremes. Summers scorch, with temperatures easily hitting 35 degrees Celsius. Winters transform the landscape with snow and freezing conditions, often plunging to -10 degrees. Pack accordingly. Now let's discuss cultural nuances that catch newcomers off guard. Greeting customs differ significantly from what you might expect. Kissing cheeks, especially with the opposite sex, doesn't happen here. Handshakes represent the polite, preferred greeting. People address each other using both first and last names. Formality matters. If someone invites you to their home, never arrive empty-handed. Bring flowers, chocolate, or quality wine. Showing up without a gift would be considered genuinely rude. And upon entering, remove your shoes immediately. This isn't a suggestion, it's standard practice everyone follows. Here's something you'll notice within hours. Smoking is incredibly widespread. While banned on public transport and in indoor public spaces, many locals are heavy smokers. It's simply part of the culture, for better or worse. Language won't present major barriers. English is widely spoken, and in fact, knowing English often becomes a job requirement. This linguistic accessibility makes navigating daily life far easier than in many European countries. Modern infrastructure impresses visitors. An extensive transportation network has transformed this nation into a European trade hub. While natural resources aren't abundant, some natural gas exists. The economy thrives through industry. Chemicals, plastics, fertilizers, aluminum, and construction all contribute significantly. Upon landing at the airport, taxis accept card payments if you're short on cash. Currency exchange counters operate there, but their fees are steep. Avoid them if possible. Currently, exchange rates fluctuate, but you'll find better deals in the city center than at the airport. Always choose taxis displaying company names. Freelance drivers routinely overcharge unsuspecting passengers, turning short rides into expensive lessons. Planning to stay permanently? Within 1 month of arrival, you must register your address with your consulate. Skip this, and you'll face official restrictions, voting limitations, potential fines, and bureaucratic headaches. It seems minor until suddenly it isn't. Banking operations here will surprise you. Unlike systems where banks profit massively from high-interest loans and credit cards, interest rates here remain very low. Banks compensate through alternative revenue streams. For example, after 3 or 4 free ATM withdrawals monthly from your own bank, commission fees kick in. Use ATMs without bank branding, and those fees skyrocket. It's an entirely different financial ecosystem. Renting apartments comes with its own quirks. Landlords typically demand 2 months' rent as deposit instead of one. This means, well, paying 3 times the monthly rent up front when signing a lease, 1 month's rent plus 2 deposits. So it's wise to budget accordingly. Now, renting cars might sound appealing until you confront parking realities. Unless your accommodation includes free parking, costs become, honestly, shockingly expensive. This nation has some of Europe's highest parking fees and traffic fines, particularly near tourist attractions. Traffic enforcement is strict and, frankly, unforgiving. Even after just 1 beer, driving is illegal. The blood alcohol limit is 0. Get caught, and you could lose your license entirely. For students, however, this destination offers genuine advantages. Degrees earned here receive recognition throughout the European Union, eliminating qualification exam requirements for working elsewhere in the EU. Education costs less than in many European nations, and unlike systems where state-run entrance exams determine university admission, each institution here organizes its own admissions process independently. Shopping presents pleasant surprises. Turkish grocery stores operate extensively, offering products with familiar labeling. This makes daily shopping comfortable for those seeking familiar foods. However, value-added tax sits at 27%, among Europe's highest. The silver lining. Car purchases avoid additional special consumption taxes, making vehicles nearly half the price compared to some neighboring countries. Healthcare follows a familiar model. Everyone has a family doctor who must be consulted first for medical issues. If conditions prove serious, they refer you to hospitals. Public insurance doesn't cover private hospitals. You'll pay out of pocket for those services. Society itself proves welcoming. Locals are generally warm, friendly, and, genuinely hospitable. While some European regions show discrimination towards certain groups, that's rarely the case here. Historical memory plays a role. People recall that although the Ottoman Empire once ruled portions of this territory for nearly 150 years, it didn't attempt cultural erasure or forced assimilation. Because of this, no hostility lingers. History, well, it's remembered without bitterness. Hungarians enjoy good conversation, but they usually avoid 2 topics in social settings: politics and sports. These subjects tend to spark controversy, particularly if opinions differ. Social life, especially in the capital, can feel surprisingly insular. Some folks even describe a small-town atmosphere despite the city's size. Cultural and language differences, combined with an occasional reluctance to befriend foreigners, create tight-knit communities where, honestly, everyone seems to know everyone else. Toasting comes with specific rules that might seem, well, a bit bizarre. The word for cheers is egészségedre, and good luck pronouncing that after a few drinks. But never say it while clinking beer glasses. Legend holds that after defeat in the 1848 revolution against the Habsburgs, Austrians celebrated with beer toasts. Since then, locals simply refuse to say cheers when drinking beer. If you violate this custom, you'll probably receive some disapproving looks. Public transport in the capital operates efficiently, featuring trams, trolley buses, regular buses, and underground metro systems. Some vehicles appear aged and worn, but they function reliably. However, you cannot pay upon boarding. Small kiosks at metro stations sell booklets of 10 or 20 tickets, and monthly passes exist for regular commuters. It's important to validate your ticket at each journey's start. Random checks happen frequently, and fines await those caught without valid tickets. The capital costs significantly more than smaller towns or rural areas. Relative to local salaries, living expenses can feel quite high. Your lifestyle quality depends entirely on income and personal standards. Some expats prefer purchasing property over renting. Fortunately, foreigners can own real estate after applying for purchase permits from administrative authorities. Now let's delve into fascinating historical connections. The origins of these people trace back thousands of years to nomadic Hun tribes of Central Eurasia. Historians emphasize deep cultural ties between Hungarians and Turkic peoples. Before settling their current homeland, these tribes inhabited regions around the Ural and Altai mountains of Central Asia, where they were known as Huns. Attila the Hun, regarded by many historians as the great ancestor of the Hungarian people, is also considered part of ancient Turkic heritage. Even today, linguistic and cultural similarities persist. Names show clear patterns. Attila becomes Attila, Emre becomes Imre, Sultan becomes Zoltan. Many words share roots. Beard is sakal, mother is Anya, door is kapu, lid is kupak. Both languages belong to the agglutinative family, adding suffixes to form meaning, a linguistic structure shared by few language groups. After the Huns, the Magyars migrated from Central Asia into the Carpathian Basin, conquering local Celtic, Romanian, Slavic and Avar tribes. The first Hungarian state emerged around the year 1000 with a feudal structure. But in 1241, Mongol invasions left the kingdom severely weakened. By 1526, after defeat at the Battle of Mohacs, the territory came under Ottoman rule for nearly 150 years. Later it became part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. 2 world wars brought that empire crashing down. On February 1st, 1946, a republic was declared. Today the population approaches 10 million. As a European Union member, this nation maintains its own currency, the forint, rather than adopting the euro. This monetary independence provides economic flexibility, but, it does mean visitors will need to exchange their currency. So what's the verdict? If you enjoy vibrant cities, friendly atmospheres, and nations with solid living standards, this destination deserves serious consideration. Salaries won't match Germany or Switzerland, but life remains very comfortable. The combination of rich history, stunning architecture, welcoming people, and a Central European location creates opportunities for visitors and residents alike. Whether you're planning a short visit to explore UNESCO sites and soak in thermal baths, considering a semester abroad to earn a recognized degree, seeking employment in a growing European economy, or contemplating permanent relocation for a different pace of life, this nation offers something valuable. Just remember, validate your transport tickets, never toast beer with the traditional phrase, remove your shoes indoors, and always bring gifts when invited to homes. Master these basics and you'll honestly navigate local culture with ease.